Jungkook reveals something that Jimin can't keep quiet about. Army. This is a disaster. The army was once again rocked by an unexpected off-camera moment, but it was finally leaked by a military insider and is now in the spotlight. Jungkook, who had been known to be quiet during his military service, suddenly revealed one personal thing that made Jimin react very quickly and very emotionally, initially. No one expected that their brief meeting at the headquarters would leave such a big impact. But according to reports from a military informant who declined to be named, Jungkook, who was in a state of emotional instability due to physical and mental stress in his unit, finally overflowed something that he had been latent. The sentence is short, but enough to make Jimin hit. I feel no one really knows I'm here. But you were different, Hyung. The informant mentioned that Jimin, who was only allowed to stop by for a few minutes at that time, was initially silent. He looked at Jungkook as if he couldn't believe the words that came out of his mouth. But shortly after, he was seen asking permission from the accompanying officer, then decided to leave the place before the time ran out. And sure enough, the next day, Jungkook received a letter personally handed over by an officer. The letter was never made public, but from the leaks that spread in ARMY's limited circles, the one sentence written in it made the fans cry, "I won't let you feel alone anymore." I made that promise, and it holds true forever. Many soldiers expressed their concern for Jungkook's mental state, but at the same time felt touched by the way Jimin responded. Not with the crowd, not with live broadcasts, but with the most sincere language, the presence and promise of silence. Some fans even said that this incident was more emotional than the drama scene. This is not fan service. This is not a script. It's real. Jungkook felt alone, and Jimin did not remain silent. It didn't take long after the excitement of Jimin's letter to Jungkook. The ARMY world was shocked again. This time, it was Jungkook's turn to send a reply, not through social media, not through an official letter, but a handwritten note that was said to have been personally entrusted to one of the military staff who was on duty near Jimin's training area. What is surprising is not only the content of the letter, but the way Jungkook wrote it, stressful, a little messy, like written with emotions still very strong. Leaked pieces of the contents of the letter that were confirmed by a trusted fanbase account mentioned, "I think I can handle it, Hyung. But it's not that easy. When you came, I realized, I still need you. I never stopped needing you." This sentence makes a lot of ARMY choked. They know Jungkook is not the type to speak his heart directly, especially in a military environment full of pressure and strict rules. But despite all that, he still chose to open up to one person, Park Jimin. The next day, one of the military staff leaked that Jimin looked calmer, but also more serious than usual. He read Jungkook's letter in a quiet place outside the barracks under the dim light of night. And when he finished reading, Jimin just looked down for a long time, without a word, without a movement like holding something in his chest. When we asked him if he was okay, he just smiled a little and said, "That's Jungkook. I know what I have to do." That sentence alone was enough to give the ARMY goosebumps. It's no secret that Jimin and Jungkook have a deeper relationship than just friends or group mates. Many moments from the past, their gazes at rehearsals, small hugs at concerts, the way they reinforce each other behind the stage, everything seemed to come back to life after the events of this letter. Some ARMY began to collect pieces of the past. Videos of Jungkook crying and Jimin clasping his hands silently, or when Jimin defends Jungkook from media pressure at the beginning of their debut. It all feels like part of a big story that is finally starting to unfold slowly, while the news of Jungkook's reply is still hotly discussed. An unexpected incident shakes the ARMY community again. Jimin, who was not previously scheduled to attend an internal military event at one of the closed training bases, he was seen entering the area with a limited escort. Some insiders mentioned that his presence was not announced to other military personnel. Even the agency's liaison staff reportedly only found out when Jimin was on his way to the location. A military source said that Jimin had applied specifically to attend certain activities at the same location as the unit where Jungkook was assigned. But interestingly, The events he attended were not official public events such as ceremonies or celebrations of achievements. Rather, it is an activity of motivation and reflection for members who are experiencing a decline in spirit or mental stress due to the burden of the military, and from the list of names in the program, it was revealed that Jungkook was one of the main participants. This immediately led to widespread speculation. Had Jimin come to personally encourage Jungkook? Several members of the unit who had witnessed the rare moment claimed to have seen a brief interaction between the two. They sat not too far apart, but not side by side. Jungkook looked a little tense at the beginning of the show, but as soon as Jimin entered the room, his attitude changed. He became more focused, and his smile, even if only for a moment, was evident. One of the witnesses said, "They don't talk to each other." But as Jimin delivered a common message to all members about inner strength and the importance of listening to one's own heart, their eyes met each other's. And from that, we all knew it was no ordinary speech. Many ARMY interprets this moment as a wordless form of communication that can only be understood by two people who have a strong bond. Some even said that Jimin's act of coming without an official summons was the most sincere form of protection he could provide. He didn't come as a star. He came as someone who knew his best friend was not doing well. And that means so much more than all the camera highlights. What Jimin did that day could have never made it into mainstream media reports. No live broadcast, no stage, no official welcome. But in the eyes of the fans, and especially in Jungkook's heart, Jimin's presence on the show may be a silent savior that not everyone knows about. In a world where words are often overused, Jungkook shows that true closeness doesn't always need to be explained. Simply present. Care enough. It is enough to understand each other at a time when everyone is silent to the outside world. This may be just an ordinary exchange of letters between two friends who are serving in the army. But for those who have been following BTS for a long time and understand the dynamics of Jungkook, this is a statement that the bond between them lives on. Stay strong. Even in the silence, even behind military uniforms, they still talk in their own way, sincerely, without a stage, without an audience, and perhaps that is the purest form of love and care. What Jungkook revealed to Jimin was not just an outpouring of heart. It was a silent request that could only be understood by someone who had truly lived in the deepest chambers of his heart. And Jimin, as he always did a long time ago, answered him not with much talk, but by being present, by small gestures full of meaning, and by promises that he repeats silently. Now, the army can only hope that Jimin and Jungkook continue to take care of each other, in silence, in distance, and in a bond that can never really be described in words.